Greetings and good day. This is Donnie with TechWinner, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, guys, I recently had the folks at Anran reach out to me asking me to test out their P3 Max point tilt zoom camera. So today we're going to unbox it. We're going to show you what that setup looks like, including installing it, and as much of that app experience and real-time footage as I can possibly share with you. So without any further ado, let's dive in and let's take a look. So guys, just first impressions of this unboxing. As you can see here, this camera is a really superior camera, especially at the price point, which I'll talk about in just a minute. The hardware on this is very good. I like that it has the Wi-Fi antennas, especially if this is going to be something that's going to be mounted a little bit further away from a Wi-Fi access point. It does only support 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which is perfectly fine. 5 gigahertz doesn't necessarily travel as far as 2.4, so if it's going to be mounted further from an access point, it's fine that it's only supporting 2.4, in my opinion. This camera supports more than 1080p. It actually goes up to 5 megapixels, which from a resolution perspective is 2592 by 1944, which is kind of like a 4:3 ratio as opposed to the 16:9 widescreen that you might see for most cameras. We'll talk about that in just a minute when I show you some of this footage. But just some of that other unboxing, as you can see, there's also a security sticker in there. There's a manual, and then of course there's the power supply as well. And obviously a bracket for mounting this to a wall. You do have to mount it to a vertical wall. You couldn't do it to like a horizontal roof or ceiling. It does have to be mounted to a side wall so that it has that freedom to be able to basically pan and tilt. And as you can see, just going right into that setup mode inside the app, guys, this setup was one of the most unique experiences that I've ever had. The Anran app, get it installed, of course, from the Apple App Store or from Google Play. But when it came time to actually pair it to the camera, in most cases with cameras I've set up in the past, there's like a QR code that's on the camera that you scan. This was the complete opposite experience. It put a QR code on my screen of my phone, and I had to point the camera at the QR code on the phone, and that's how it paired. I just thought that was cool. It was unique. A different take on the setup process. But then looking at that actual installation process as well, I installed this on some steps that were near my back porch, basically because I had power nearby. The model that I was provided for testing is a plug-in model. They do have battery-powered ones that also work with solar panels, but for the purposes of this test, I needed it to be close to power. This was a logical place to do it. It's a little bit lower than maybe you would want it to be installed, but as you can see in some of this footage, the quality on this looks really good. And guys, this is just out of the box that I'm working with just the pan, tilt, and zoom inside of the app itself. And yes, it's almost springtime. The grass is starting to grow, but it's also still really soggy, swampy in my backyard. So I haven't mowed yet. The grass is a little bit long. So thank you for refraining your judgments. I promise the yard's going to look good very soon.
The test from approximately 20 feet away. "30 feet. "40 feet.
But guys, I want to talk about the hardware quality of this and the software quality of this camera. And just looking at this price point, and this is where it really is important. This camera right now on Amazon is available for $59.99. Yes, it also does have a 10% coupon at the making of this video as well. I'll have a link in the description. Go check out this camera on Amazon if it's something you're interested in. The hardware at this price point is absolutely incredible. You know, I'm more accustomed to like the Ring fleet of cameras, and this quality of this image is excellent, especially when we start talking about some of the nighttime mode stuff. Just take a look at this nighttime. It, of course, has infrared on it. It also does have a hybrid mode that you can set up, or you can just do it true color. And the ability for this image to pick up like it does in the dark is absolutely superior to anything that I've seen with my Ring cameras that I've spent far more for. So I'm very impressed with the hardware capabilities of this. It does have its own built-in light as well, which really honestly wasn't that great compared to something like a Ring Spotlight cam, but it was decent. And then of course the infrared lights on it as well shine and definitely flood the area that's very near the camera as well. One thing I did like in this app was the ability to set motion to just automatically track with something that it detects. So as you can see here, it's kind of following me around as I'm going, and it does use its own auto pan tilt here to be able to track with whatever image it's picked up. I was able to pick up some birds. I was very disappointed because I haven't had a lot of deer come by in the last week since I've been testing this, but I did pick up some birds and the camera tracked with that as well, which is really fun. It does have some quirks if you turn on this auto tracking, and I'll show that at the very end of the video, so definitely stay tuned for that. But guys, I again am incredibly impressed with this hardware. Here's where I think the software is a little bit lagging. Yes, I did mate an SD card with this, a Samsung 128 gig SD card. So it does have recording. You can do 24/7 recording. They also do have a cloud recording option there available as well. You actually get 7 days free to trial, which I have been doing. That's been working very well. But the playback in the app has a little bit of lag to it compared to something that I'm accustomed to, like in the Ring app. Then when it comes to actually downloading that video as well, it was a little bit of a clunky experience in my opinion. Basically, I had to go to that section that I wanted to download and I had to hit the record button on the app, and then it starts recording and you kind of have to watch the entire playback of whatever that section is. And then when you're done, you hit record again, it stops, and it saves it to the camera roll on my app. Just in my opinion, a little bit of a clunky experience. The app, not super great. Hardware, in my opinion, superior to a lot of the things I've seen with Ring. Software, definitely lagging. But guys, at this price point of $59.99, definitely something to consider, especially if you're on a budget and not necessarily looking to get locked into a specific ecosystem like Ring, like Nest. But guys, overall, incredibly impressed with this. I love the auto tracking on this. I love how well it does recording in low light, in the dark. Absolutely terrific. I love the pan tilt zoom capabilities and that I can do that from the app and be able to get basically a full 180 degrees of motion of view at any given time. Incredibly handy, especially at this price point. So guys, if you're in the market for a pan tilt zoom camera, I totally can recommend this Anran camera at $59.99.
And thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, I'd ask you to consider liking and subscribing. We're up here, hitting that bell notification so that you're always staying up to date with new content as it's uploaded. But for now, I'm Donnie with Tech Winner, helping you make winning decisions when it comes to your tech. You guys have a great day.